ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you told me, only for a moment. Everything is fine and the beautiful golden path unfolded. Anger in response to my emotion, all the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside, get high, good times. I'm reeling from the raindrops on the ceiling. From your heart this is revealing. You wanna get away, you're born into my every feeling. Afraid of, isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the glamour and the money that they sold you. When the raindrops hit your ceiling, we see
I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. Yeah, I'm looking dangerous now. Yeah, they're looking anxious now. Yeah, look at their faces now. Yeah, how did they make it out? Yeah, I had to break it. I'm talking that family curse. Everyone said I wouldn't make it, spoiler alert.
man, what are you so afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the language and the bullshit that they sold you. When the teardrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes, avoid the pain? Girl, what are you so afraid? And 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 what are you so afraid?
So what's holding you back?
Fear. It's irrational.
What are we actually afraid of? Especially Christians. We talk about eternal life and they're worried about losing their stuff and their money. I don't get that at all. Because you don't take any of that stuff with you when you die. None of it.
This morning, when I woke, I couldn't stop hearing teardrops on my ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you told me, only for a moment. Everything is fine and the beautiful golden path unfolded. Anger in response to my emotion, all the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside, get high, good times. I'm reeling from the raindrops on the ceiling. From your heart this is revealing. You wanna get away, you're born into my
what are you
every
so
feeling. Afraid of, isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the glamour and the money that they sold you. When the raindrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes or avoid the things this is revealing?
I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. Yeah, I'm looking dangerous now. Yeah, they're looking anxious now. Yeah, look at their faces now. Yeah, how did they make it out? Yeah, I had to break it. I'm talking that family curse. Everyone said I wouldn't make it, spoiler alert.
Man, what are you so afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the language and the bullshit that they sold you. When the teardrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes, avoid the pain? Girl, what are you so afraid? And 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 what are you so afraid?
So what's holding you back?
Fear. It's irrational.
What are we actually afraid of? Especially Christians. We talk about eternal life and they're worried about losing their stuff and their money. I don't get that at all. Because you don't take any of that stuff with you when you die. None of it. This morning, when I woke, I couldn't stop hearing
Teardrops on my ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you told me, only for a moment. Everything is fine and the beautiful golden path unfolding. Anger in response to my emotion, all the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside, get high, good times I'm reeling. From the raindrops on the ceiling, from your heart this is revealing. You wanna get away, avoid into my
What are you so
feeling.
afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the glamour and the money that they sold you, when the raindrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes or avoid the things this is revealing? I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. I survived what they sent to destroy me, resurrected like a biblical story. They thought that it was the old me, but it ain't the old me, it's the bold me. Yeah, I'm looking dangerous now. Yeah, they're looking anxious now. Yeah, look at their faces now. Yeah, how did they make it out? Yeah, I had to break it. I'm talking that family curse. Everyone said I wouldn't make it, spoiler alert. Man, what are you so afraid of? Isn't that what life is made of? When you think about all you gave up, when you think about all the language and the bullshit that they sold you, when the teardrops hit your ceiling, will you see a human being? Will you open your eyes, avoid the pain? Girl, what are you so afraid? What are you so afraid? And what are you so afraid? What are you so afraid? What are you so afraid? And what are you so afraid? And what are you so afraid?
So what's holding you back?
Fear. It's irrational.
What are we actually afraid of? Especially Christians. We talk about eternal life and they're worried about losing their stuff and their money. I don't get that at all. Because you don't take any of that stuff with you when you die. None of it.
This morning, when I woke, I couldn't stop hearing teardrops on my ceiling, falling from the eyes of the beautiful angel I had slaughtered. Hold me, ignoring what you told me, only for a moment. Everything is fine and the beautiful golden path unfolding. Anger in response to my emotion, all the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside, get high, good times I'm reeling. From the raindrops on the ceiling.
The camera.
No discussion.
No. So we decided to start following the bus that departed on the hour every hour from this location to Phoenix Sky Harbor. The first thing that happened to us was the bus stopped on the side of the road. The driver got out and started taking video of us. He's recording us. Do you have this? Should I get out and talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Hi, sir. Hi. He's filming us. So we're following this bus. It says American Nation Tour on it, but the website's down, so we're going to try to figure out who's contracting them. So we decided to start following the bus that departed on the hour every hour from this location to Phoenix Sky Harbor. The first thing that happened to us was the bus stopped on the side of the road. The driver got out and started taking video of us. He's recording us. Do you have this? Should I get out and talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Hi, sir. Hi. He's filming us. So we're following this bus. It says American Nation Tour on it, but the website's down, so we're going to try to figure out who's contracting them. Border Patrol agent, and Ashley St. Clair, and a couple of other guests. We are going to break the story here. This is part 2 of Arizona border. And as I break this story, this is us. Let me just describe what you're about to hear and see. We just broke the video on X. This is the Arizona border story. The buses, last time we went to the migrant shelter. This is the secretive migrant facility on 1211 East Apache. Now we're going to follow the buses as they go to Phoenix Sky Harbor, and we're going to see what happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and play each of these 2-minute clips, discuss, talk about the mainstream media reaction, and take you live to the Border Patrol agent who's on standby, who's listening. Here we go. So we decided to start following the bus that departed on the hour, every hour, from this location to Phoenix Sky Harbor. The first thing that happened to us was the bus stopped on the side of the road. The driver got out and started taking video of us. So this is us following this bus filled with migrants and asylum seekers in Phoenix on the way to the airport. I just saw that We the People Arizona joined. We'll be getting to them soon. And the guy gets out of the bus and starts taking photos of me. He's recording us. Do you have this? Should I get out and talk to him? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Come on. Hi, sir. Hi. He's filming us. So we're following this bus. It says American Nation Tour on it. Now, we've done these reports where the last bus driver we spoke to was Jet Limousine. Now it's American Tour. There's a lot of different subcontractors here working with Charter Up. Then something crazy happens. The bus starts swerving sort of violently to and fro across the freeway, across the highway. I don't know what they refer to, the highways in Arizona, parkways, freeways, highways. But check this out. So we decided to start Then, to our shock, the driver of the bus turned on his rear tail lights and began to attempt to back into us, apparently trying to ram into our vehicle. He's backing up into you.
That's my car.
I mean, this guy literally tries to ram into the front of our car. I mean, this driver is out of control, and he wasn't going directly to Sky Harbor. He was evading us down side streets, getting off and on ramps. There were a couple times he got on and off an on-ramp at the last second. Is this the behavior of people who are proud of what they're doing? We know that the Arizona mainstream media has now covered this story. I'm going to take you to that. The Arizona Republic breaking news. This is azcentral.com. They actually have a paywall there. MSNBC, James O'Keefe reportedly fuels threats to Arizona Migrant Center. Right-wingers like Elon Musk help boost the provocateur's false claim he found a secret center for migrants. But the center isn't secret at all. So let me ask you this question, Mr. Jahan Jones of MSNBC. If this is not a secret, then why the hell are the buses swerving violently across the highway in an attempt to evade photojournalists? Does that make any sense to you? If you're just joining me, I'm taking you through part 2 of the brand new video just released minutes ago showing the buses filled with migrants and asylum seekers violently swerving across the highway on the way to Phoenix Sky Harbor. That noise you hear is the bus trying to ram our car because we have the audacity to simply be driving alongside the car. Okay. Oh, what that was about. This guy's trying to threaten us right now, but we're journalists on assignment. We have that pesky First Amendment. That pesky. They don't like that first. They say it's harassment to ask questions and show up and report. That's their new MO. It's harassment.
No, you can have this guy pulled over for records.
Yes, we see Jordan Conradson just joined from Gateway Pundit. Now Jordan actually did something similar, but did not get it on video. But we can talk to him later. Good. He's definitely driving recklessly. This guy almost backed up into us. So the driver swerved across the freeway, backing up into us. And one of these maneuvers we were able to get on video. This is the last minute swerving on the bypass. What happened next was unbelievable. the bus began violently swerving across the interstate in an attempt to evade us. It got on and off on-ramps at the last minute. We captured this one on video.
Yeah, they still trying to.
Whoa! Whoa, did you get that on video? Did you get that on video? So I recognize that this is being streamed on Spaces, which does not have video. The bus driver gets off the highway, gets back off. He's swerving left and right at the last second to try to evade us. And in fact, the swerving was so aggressive that we actually lost the bus because he didn't go to the Terminal 4. He actually went the wrong way to try to get rid of us.
Did you get that on video? Did you get that on video?
Reckless driving.
Reckless driving. Did you get that on video?
Yeah.
This bus driver is currently driving recklessly, trying to evade our ability to report on him dropping off the migrants at the airport, trying to evade our journalism.
So again, we're up to 2,300 people live. Every few seconds, another 100 people join the Spaces. We are now almost to Phoenix Sky Harbor. The bus pulls away, coming from 12 East Apache. We lose the bus.
We have a First Amendment right to film and ask questions. Here we go.
In fact, the swerving and evasive maneuvering by the bus was so violent that we actually lost track of this particular bus. We went back to 1211 East Apache Street and followed the next bus on the hour. We decided to meet them at... So let's go to the next installment here. We went back to 1211 East... We go back to the location. This is the secretive... Jason, MSNBC says I'm a liar because I reported it was secret. I mean, it's secretive.
It's hidden.
It's hidden. They're offering us bribes. They're evading us. They're trying to ram into our vehicle. There's many other facilities like that. We'll get to this in a minute. For those of you just joining me, we are taking you to the Border Patrol agent here shortly, and that individual is on standby. I'm going to get to you, sir, in about 10 minutes. I have to tell the story of what's happening here in Arizona. The secretive facilities that are housing the migrants. We're going from the facility to the airport here. Apache Street, and followed the next bus on the hour. We decided to meet them at the airport and get out of the car before the bus arrived. But when the driver saw us do that, the bus refused to unload the migrants at the terminal because I was standing outside with my iPhone. So now we're at the airport. I mean, this is kind of gumshoe journalism here. Sometimes all you got to do is show up. And the second driver also tried to evade us. This is a bus filled with migrants at about, I would say about 3 o'clock local time. And the driver won't actually go to the terminal because she spots me in the distance. I'm just standing there with my phone doing that horrible thing. So it's remarkable because the driver sees me and then starts blocking traffic. She's trying to record me. Ma'am, they're evading us. They won't let the immigrants off the bus. They won't let the migrants off the bus. She's blocking traffic. All right, let's get back in the car. Now we get to the airport. They're not gonna let them off the bus. They're not actually letting these people off of the bus because they know that I'm in the vicinity. They know that I'm in the neighborhood. Truly remarkable. And I know we have the Border Patrol agent on standby. We have the Border Patrol agent, and we're going to get to him in a minute. If you're just joining us, we are streaming live on X, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're taking you through this new video. We've got multiple installments. This is live action. This is live radio. A whistleblower from the Border Patrol is going to be coming on the program in a moment. A very brave individual, which I think is going to set off a kinetic effect. So let's go back to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Says this woman was going to let them off, but then she saw me, started filming me, and she keeps going. So standing outside, the bus sat at the terminal outside the door for several minutes before the driver called the Sky Harbor Police. Hi. He's on the phone. So we believe the driver of the bus is now calling the police on me. For those of you who follow my work, literally every time they call the police. There's 3 layers of irony in that. First of all, many of these people hate the police. Second, what they're doing is probably legally problematic and constitutionally problematic. And third is I'm a journalist who has a First Amendment right to stand there and ask questions.
She's afraid to open the door of the bus. So we're going to sit here and see what's happening.
So the bus driver won't open the door and let the migrants off the bus. Why not? They don't want us to see the people putting masks on the faces of the migrants? We're not sure.
A few minutes later.
So this bus has been evading us for quite some time, pulling up first to the terminal prior, now pulling up to this terminal. She's taking video of us, if you can zoom in on the phone there, and afraid to open the door and let the migrants out into the airport. So we're just going to sit here until they open the door. She's on the phone.
Apparently on the phone with the police. And then the police show up. Now, are these Phoenix Sky Harbor police?
They are Phoenix Police Department. They're stationed at Sky Harbor.
Phoenix Police Department police stationed at the airport. This woman walks up to me. And I want you to guys, I'd love your opinion on these police. The police officers were called every single time that I show up to these facilities. I'm standing on a sidewalk here. And I'd like you guys to be the judge of what do you think is going on with the police officers coordinating and participation with these buses.
The police showed up to investigate, asked who we were, and then they left. They've called the police. Every single time they called the police. You know, there is some irony with the bus filled with migrants shipping people via airports, and they're calling the police on an American journalist for reporting on it.
This is Officer Taylor. I'm going to pause the screen for those of you on YouTube. Get a picture of her face there. She noticed that she's wearing the body camera, and just so you have her badge number here.
Call the police. You know, there is some irony with the bus filled with migrants shipping people via airports, and they're calling the police on an American journalist for reporting on it.
That's Officer Taylor, badge number 8149. If anyone knows who this individual is, please DM me what their names. We want to report their names, their full names. Let's see what Officer Taylor has to say to James O'Keefe and his team.
Hi, I'm an American journalist. I'm here asking questions. My name is James O'Keefe. How can I help you?
Now then the officer asked me for my ID. Why she needs my ID, I don't know. Am I being arrested?
I do, but am I being detained?
Do I know what I need to do here at the airport? I mean, I actually have a flight out of Phoenix Sky Harbor.
After the officers showed up, the driver opened the door and the migrants stepped off.
So here is footage of the migrants getting off the bus at Terminal 4, door 23, Phoenix Sky, actually door 21. And if you have any comments or insights into what we've been talking about today, please write it in the comments. Our team will review and bring you up on the queue. So if you guys have comments, you can X allows you to do that, and we'll bring you up. It's 4:20. I want to spend another 5 to 10 minutes taking you through the rest of this video, and then I want to get to our Border Patrol individual. We have incredible news coming up, and I want people to populate the space. Now we have almost 6,000 live listeners, and I'm going to just go ahead and say we have an insider in the Border Patrol joining us in a few minutes, and they're going to speak about some things you've never heard before. At Project Veritas, we often interview these folks in the dark, but this individual is going to be joining us live with the voice disguised in 10 minutes time. So please share the space, please message your friends, support our mission, support our work. I'm just going to go ahead and post that. It seemed as though law enforcement was being used to intimidate journalists.
Calling police on American journalists for reporting on issues.
Now notice these officers are standing near the bus. Look at that shot, for those of you on YouTube. Look at those officers. I don't know if they're proud of what they're doing.
Police on American journalists for reporting on issues. Sir, can I have your name?
Yeah.
What is your first name?
Steve.
Steve Butler. Ma'am, what's your name?
So we have Steve Butler, Officer Taylor.
A1. Sir, what's your badge number and name? 6974. Ma'am, why did you call the police? Ma'am, who do you work for? Ma'am, who do you work for? Here we have the migrants walking in the airport.
So then they walk into the airport and the cops sort of scurry away. They don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. Let me take you to the next part of the video.
Using some source information our tipsters sent us over Signal and X, we were able to figure out where the buses were coming from originally, down near the border. Border Patrol agents refer to them not as migrants or illegal immigrants, but as bodies or tonks, and have told O'Keefe Media they transported them through a series of centers, stations, and tent cities throughout Arizona. The web of facilities is so vast and so complex, it's difficult to even summarize. We decided to begin somewhere. One of the initial locations is actually on an Indian reservation called Tohono O'odham.
Now, I don't know if my pronunciation of that is correct for you Arizonians. This is 3 miles north of the border. This is something called the LEC Center. Law enforcement center. It's not really known and you can't really visit it. We've been told this is an incredibly secure facility where they initially go.
Completely unknown facility that you cannot visit and has not been reported on. The facility is referred to as LEC, or Law Enforcement Center, 3 miles north of the border on San Miguel Road. It is from here that the bodies are transferred to places like TSS, the tent city at 4550 East Los Reales Road in Tucson, close to the Los Reales landfill, or perhaps to the tent city on the border town of Nogales, NPC, the Nogales Processing Center. It is from the Nogales Processing Center that the bodies are then transferred to an area where they are bussed north, taken to another processing facility that has capacity, or to NGOs like the International Red Cross, the International Rescue Committee, and many others.
Now, the International Rescue Committee is just one nonprofit with the $1.4 billion budget, $415 million from the feds. You're looking at me in Nogales there. We decided to trace these buses. We're gonna follow the scent. Follow the scent, as they say in investigative journalism. So we go to Nogales.
Decided to check out where the bodies are being loaded onto the buses after the Nogales Processing Center. That occurred at the intersection of North Grand Avenue and West Crawford Street in Nogales, Arizona, just a few hundred yards from the border.
Now, if you have not been to Nogales, it is a seedy, kind of dangerous area. We are still reporting. We have one clip from Nogales before we get to our main event here.
I went to talk to the driver and the organizers of the buses. Ma'am, perdón, ma'am. ¿Habla inglés?
Yes.
Let me see your badge. See this badge, please? Santa Cruz County.
So the woman on the bus in Nogales who's sort of organizing this, in charge of the bus, is a employee of the county of Santa Cruz County, Arizona, right, Jason?
Yes.
A county employee. We thought she may have been a community college employee.
County.
But county employee, we couldn't quite make out her name. So now you have money coming from the county. You have International Red Cross workers. They're a nonprofit. And you have another nonprofit confirmed to us there in Nogales. And we're just, if you have any more information about this, something apparently called Alitas. Casas Alitas, A-L-I-T-A-S.
I noticed that the badge the staffer on the bus was wearing was one of Santa Cruz County. Apparently the county foots the bill for the transportation of the migrants from the border towns like Nogales to the migrant centers we found in places like Phoenix, and also apparently Tucson. Are you with the county of Santa Cruz, or?
Hey.
Now Is this a bus transportation?
The county worker, they're confirming that she's with the county of Santa Cruz.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Now they can't answer questions. So for the first few minutes, I don't think they realized what I was or who I was or what I was doing. And then they started to realize I'm James O'Keefe, you know. And it's just, does anybody else find it interesting that they just scurry away? I mean, why are they scurrying away? Going back to our friends at MSNBC, people face threats, fuels threats. Well, first of all, the implication that somehow reporting facts makes me responsible for threats. But what are you doing, government officials, NGOs? What shameful behaviors are you up to that might lead people to react that way? So obviously, the job here is to show people what's going on.
While I was talking to the Santa Cruz County employee on the rear side of the bus, one of our OMG citizen journalists was talking to American Red Cross workers. They did not know they were being videotaped.
This is the Alitas or is this the American Red Cross?
This is, the American Red Cross just assisted.
Now, what happened here is that a citizen reporter, and I want more people to do this, and more people are, secretly recorded the encounter with American Red Cross and Alitas. They confirmed that they are Alitas. We need to look deeper into this Alitas group, and we will. We're just following the scent, ladies and gentlemen, following the trail. And they confirm that this is an NGO called Alitas and Red Cross partnering together and shipping them off to places like Tucson.
The Red Cross official confirmed that another nonprofit called Alitas was involved in Nogales and Tucson.
My worries is that you've probably been watching TV. They get shipped and then they get like abandoned over.
Well, I'm here, and I can tell you that that's not true. They go to another place.
But when they get to the final destination, like in New York, you know, like they get dumped and people are like helpless. Are you still providing help over there? Because, you know, everybody watches the news.
Can't discuss that because
No, we can't discuss that. No, we're not allowed to say what's happening. So apparently they do get shipped to another location, and OMG is dedicated to taking you to that other secret location. And we have some information. We're gathering more. It gets crazier. It gets wilder. It gets dark. It gets terrifying. And we went there once. We're going back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to our person inside the Border Patrol. I'm going to get them queued up. Let's see if we can get you queued up here. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Is my voice being disguised?
Your voice is disguised. Thank you again, Mr. Elon Musk, for bringing that feature to us. So you're live, and my understanding is that you are currently a Border Patrol agent. Is that right?
I can confirm that, as well as that I would never kill myself.
And I can confirm to the people listening that I know that the individual you're listening to is a Border Patrol agent because I recognize their avatar, and I understand that to be a Border Patrol agent, and I've spoken to this individual a number of times recently. So I guess tell me what's going through your mind right now, and just start anywhere you want about why you decided to come on here and tell the world about what's going on.
I joined the Border Patrol because I have a duty to protect my country. I'm a man of God and honor.
And are you scared?
I've seen firsthand the power that the government can come down upon those who speak out with. So yes, I'm petrified.
There's a lot to talk about here, and I'm sure people have a lot of questions. You are actively working for and currently employed by the Border Patrol. I mean, first of all, what's your I guess the first question is the stuff in Arizona we're seeing here with the camps and the NPC and the LEC, that secret facility, as well as the processing center on 1211 Apache. Is that tell us more about that, or what you can say about any of the facilities that you've seen.
Every Border Patrol agent in Arizona knows about that. It's par for the course. It's sickening. It's human trafficking.
Every Border Patrol agent knows that, and do they go along with it just because it's their job?
They're all complicit. Most are sick to their stomachs, but they don't want to lose their job or their house.
They don't want to lose their job, and what's your reaction to what we've reported there in the video, or what needs to be reported? What sort of information needs to be brought to light about the crisis and the trafficking?
To me, the biggest problem is the little girls and the women that are coming across that are unaccounted for. Furthermore, the scale of this is bigger than most could imagine, and it's coming in.
I think we might be breaking in and out there. Like, if you could repeat what you said.
There's a large-scale operation ongoing, and it is scary to see what's occurring.
What's the scariest part about the women and children? I think you had broken up. There might be a little bit of a bad connection where you are. What's one of the scariest aspects of the women and children and the trafficking?
Once they're out of our possession, you can no longer find them. They don't show up to court, and they're unaccounted for.
Once they're out of your possession, you try getting off of the Wi-Fi on your phone. That might help make the connection better.
This is the best I can do.
Got it. For those of you joining us, we are live on Spaces, on YouTube, on Facebook, with someone actively inside the Border Patrol, and there's a little bit of we apologize for the connection. We got people all over the country in places we don't want to disclose. If you could take us a step deeper into the women and children issue, the trafficking. You said the Border Patrol, a lot of them know this is wrong, but they go along with it anyway. And I think something has to change. What do you think is going to happen this year with this crisis?
It's only gotten worse each year the last 3 years. Most agents know, but they still go along.
And why are you speaking out about this?
My family and my children won't have a chance in the future if this isn't stopped immediately. It sounds like an exaggeration, but the scale is so enormous, people don't understand.
One of the things that I've seen in reporting on these facilities is it's so complex. Like the facilities, the tents, the LEC. I've never even heard of LEC. I don't know how many people on this listening have heard of LEC before, or NPC, or these tent cities. I didn't know about that. On the Indian reservations and elsewhere. What's your message to other Border Patrol agents who are listening? And we do have Border Patrol agents listening to this. What is your message to them?
Don't let me putting my life on the line be in vain. Step up. Be the man or woman God would want.
Say that again. You're breaking in and out.
God would want the truth to be spoken.
And when you and I spoke, it was I think there's definitely the fear aspect for a lot of people. They're scared. They don't want to lose their job, their mortgages, their money. They have wives. They have children. I mean, if you could just speak a little bit about that, I think that's a really important thing to address with the thousands of other people that work alongside you.
We all signed up, took an oath to our Constitution and our country. Right now.
We're sorry, everyone. There's a connection issue here.
It's with the voice recorder. I think it cuts out after I've been talking for.
Yeah, the voice recorder. Where it's a a brand new feature here, so we're doing something revolutionary, and we're going to do the best we can, and perhaps repeat what you had said a moment ago about the message to other Border Patrol agents about the oath they take to the Constitution.
That oath is against enemies foreign and domestic. We're facing domestic enemies, right?
And so we're just going to, we'll go for a few seconds, I'll go for a few seconds, we'll do the best we can with the technology here. The government, you mentioned, does not want Border Patrol agents speaking out publicly, right?
Yes, everything they do is under the cover of darkness and hidden places.
Wow. Let me think about what else I can ask you, because I know you don't want to give away. I mean, your conscience, I guess, maybe talk about that for a minute. And you and I have had some conversations, some encrypted conversations. Talk to me about your conscience. Is that what's driving you to talk to the world today?
My conscience has never been clearer talking to you and your audience, Gene.
Where is this crisis headed? There's 11,000. There's human trafficking. These children. Perhaps what's the morale of the other Border Patrol agents? What are we seeing right now?
We've all been beaten down. It's an abortion of an agency, and we all feel treason.
Morale's beaten down. People feel. We've heard Border Patrol agents are committing suicide because of what they've had to deal with. Is that true?
I personally witnessed many friends take their lives within the last 3 years.
Unbelievable. I mean, how many?
On one hand, I'd say maybe 2.
I hope that other Border Patrol agents are listening to this, and I hope that you're inspired. I mean, this is really, we're at a time in space and time where you have to decide if you care more about your country and about the truth than you do about your paycheck. How do you keep going? What motivates you to do this work?
I'm unmotivated, but through this, God is showing me there's a way to speak out, and other agents can't.
You're being shown through this, so perhaps this being here today is what motivates you to keep going.
Yes, and to inspire other agents and other men to step forward and do the right thing.
To the citizen journalists who are reporting on these stories, where should they look? Like, what is the information that we need? Where do we need to go? What do we need to uncover next? What needs to be exposed?
All of the airports, all of the border zones, many of the places they choose now are places that the public can't.
And I think the reason, I've just got a message, in terms of your technology, you don't have to hold the disguise button. As long as the button is selected, you don't have to hold it down, as long as it's selected. If you're,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You bet.
Oh, I almost ruined the interview because I'm a PA, I'm not a doctor. Sorry about that, James.
Got it.
Now it's actually, now we can speak. Sorry.
No, there we go. Now we've solved the problem. Good. We were speaking in
I never claimed to be a hobby trained doctor.
in a Morse code, but now we've got it. Great, good. Okay. How do we get more Border Patrol agents to come forward? Because I think that could be the difference in 2024.
James, I was inspired personally by the spaces with Elon, Andrew Tate, Vivek. There is only good and evil. There is no in between. If you stand in between, you're no better than the Nazi guards that led people into the infernos. You must step forward. You cannot lie in wait and pay your mortgage, because in 1 to 2 generations, there will be no mortgage to pay. I personally follow the light from God. I take inspiration from other men that have come before me and stood up. I plead with you, if you're an agent, you know what the right and the wrong thing is. You know these little girls are getting trafficked, and the sad thing supposed to protect the borders, we're now the new traffickers. And we've been the new traffickers ever since the new regimes come in. Me personally, I have no problem standing up and facing the repercussions because that's what a man of honor and that's what a man who has a heart and soul and belief in God would do regardless of what happens today. I'm not doing this for myself, the easy place to keep your mouth shut. But we weren't put on this earth to assist Satan, because this what's going on right now is in my heart, I believe is truly satanic and evil. God will want you to stand up regardless. This life isn't the only life you may be rewarded in. After talking to you today, I have to face my maker, and he's gonna ask me, did I do everything possible to stop this? And this is one way I can do that.
You know,
I appreciate you letting me on. Sorry about the technology mix-up, but I just want other men and women that wear the green badge you took an oath. They want to brainwash you and tell you that this is wrong. It's not wrong. This is right at its core. And I'm no different than...
What would you sound like a principled person, you know, and I think what you're doing is revolutionary. I think it's absolutely revolutionary. So I just... What would you say to your kids one day when they're listening to you 15 years from now?
Your father may be in jail. Your father may have been suicided, but your father was a man of courage and honor. I'm not perfect. I sin daily just like everyone else. But sometimes God calls on ordinary men with ordinary jobs to live a life outside of themselves. And I don't know what's going to happen. I was scared prior to this interview, but now I actually feel invigorated and energized to call to action the other 20,000 or so agents. Many of your friends killed themselves because they couldn't look that person in the mirror. I would tell my kids, can you look yourself in the mirror? Do you want to look and see a coward on the other end? Or do you want to look and see someone who did the right thing? No one's perfect, but this is so far beyond the wrong thing.
I mean, this is so revolutionary that you have decided to do this. I predict that one person or two people, Border Patrol agents, will be messaging us. You know, and before we get to a couple more questions.
Can I talk about the tents? Can I talk about the tents?
Yes, absolutely.
They stuff these little children, women, and men in tents. They're letting single adult males in, personally from countries I've seen, all across Africa. At this point, it's not even Central and South America, it's across the globe. Asia, everywhere. People that cannot read or write, that will not contribute. They would not be able to contribute to society in any way, shape, or form. They don't even speak a language that a translator can understand. They're doing it. They show up and their passports haven't been stamped. They don't have a penny to their name. How are they getting to the border in the first place?
What is happening with the women and children? Like, what's the worst you've seen?
They show up. You can see the look and despair in their eyes. They tell countless agents they've been raped, and then they give us a fictitious address, and we lose track of these people. So this is right for the pickings of a human trafficker that wants to sell these children off, sell these women off. They give you a fake ID. We are supposed to verify the address. We know these addresses are all fake. All this regime wants to do is stuff as many people into the major cities as they can, and as fast as they can before the jig is up.
Is this just a problem on the southern border, or is it happening on the northern border?
From people I've talked to on the northern border, it's going on just as much. The northern border, I guess Mexico and Canada have an agreement that if you're a Mexican citizen, you can fly right into Canada, no visa. I'm no international law attorney, but from my friends, they've said that they are bringing people to hotels across the northern border states of Maine, New Hampshire, Washington, Idaho, Montana, all across.
Are they militant? And how will this impact safety from your perspective?
I've seen buses after buses, hundreds of buses of men, 18 to 30 years old. They have hatred in their eyes. They disrespect the Border Patrol agents. People don't understand what's going on once again. When they have, just as I'm calling the agents as a call to action, if they get a call to action to bring down this country, they will, I guarantee you, with everything, they will rise up. These men are not men of God. I don't want to speak badly about them because I don't know for sure, but I'm telling you right now, they they want to portray it as women and families. Most buses are filled with single adult men, all of military age. And that's something that we've heard before, but I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand, and the government is doing it in secret and hiding it.
For those of you who are just tuning in here, we have 8,000 live listeners, 500,000 total listeners on this weekly show. You are listening to an individual inside Border Patrol. There are literally hundreds of questions that you're sending me to ask here, and I appreciate your time.
James.
Yes.
James, can I say one thing?
Oh, please.
People say the government moves slow. They're right, but when the government wants to mobilize and move fast for something, I have never seen on such a grand scheme. This is organized. They're doing this strategically. They're doing this smart. They're being successful at moving these people into the country. They are not moving slow. This is only gaining speed rapidly. They know how to mobilize when they have to.
Why is this happening? What's behind this?
We all believe that they're trying to bring as many people in to take the benefits away and collapse the economy. So that way there is massive chaos. From this chaos, the government then can control us further and promise us security as long as we give up our privacy. And the best way to do that is bring as many people into the country as they can.
And this is your fellow Border Patrol agents also agree with this? Or how many people agree with it? 99 out of 100 people believe in it. So,
we all signed up to go into bad situations and stop people that want to come into this country illegally to cause harm. And we signed up to do that. Now we're bringing these people in. They're making the men that signed up to stop these people coming into the country to cause harm. They're making those same men bring people into the country. We might not be the most technology savvy. A lot of us come from broken homes, backgrounds of all types, but we talk about this, and your average patrol agent knows this is going on, and we either tend to ignore it or we don't talk about it because it's sickening.
What is the excuse people are giving you for coming to America? Are they saying they're refugees from war-torn countries? Are they trying to get a better life? Like, what are they actually saying to the Border Patrol agents?
They don't even talk to us. They just tell us to hurry up and get the paperwork faster. Most of them aren't thankful for anything. They think it's their right to get as much clothing, shelter, and food as humanly possible. As soon as they show up, they want food. They want a burrito. They want a blanket. They want juice. They don't say, please, they give me this. It is my right. It is my right to come here and get these things. They feel entitled to it.
You know, a number of sources have told us about this LEC center and other centers. I mean, it's just very complicated.
Once again,
yeah.
You cannot go to that center. It's on the Tohono O'odham reservation. They will not allow you to go down there.
Did you say Tohono O'odham? That's the Indian reservation?
Yes, it's about the size of the state of Connecticut. A lot of the things they're doing down there, the public couldn't see because the federal, reservation. They're doing it all hours of the day and night, and they're trying to be as secretive and quiet about it as possible.
Why are they trying to be secretive about all these things? What's the secret? Why hide it?
Look at all the agents that are committing suicide. Look at all the people that can't face it. Why do you think they're killing themselves? Because they can't look in the mirror. If the public really knew, the public, I'd say, is getting maybe 15 to 20% of this. If they really knew the damage that was being done, I can only assume that people would stand up. I don't know. But I can only assume people stand up and put a stop to it.
Well, let's go back to you because you are standing up, and you're kind of one of the first type of people that have. There aren't many federal employees that are speaking through a voice encoder right now on live radio. That might be a first for Elon Musk here. But are you a Christian? Do you believe in God?
Yes, I am. Before this interview, me and you went over a couple songs that really reinforce the power of God. Federal job, non-federal job, food, being able to feed my family, feed myself. I put that second to telling the public what really needs to be heard. I'm no better than anyone else, but I've seen horrors, and on a daily basis, I've seen what's going on. They can do anything they want to me, but they can't take my belief in God. They can't take my afterlife. They can't take Jesus Christ away from me. They might be able to take my country, They might be able to take our school systems away. They may be able to take our pride, but they can't take God from us. And if you have God and you have Jesus in your life, you can have the courage to stand up. And you can be brave.
What's your favorite psalm?
I'd like for you, if you have the Bible in front of you, if you can read Psalm 3 for me, because this is challenging.
Psalm 3.
My favorite's probably 3, maybe 26 as well. That's provided me a lot of comfort prior to this interview.
Sure, I could read that for you. What you're doing is very brave and difficult, and this is really important to a lot of people, because Psalm 3, Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying of me, God will not deliver him, but you are a shield around me. The one who lifts my head high, I call out to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear, though tens of thousands assail me on every side. Arise, deliver me, strike all my enemies on the jaw, break the teeth of the wicked. I think there was one more that you wanted me to read. Yeah.
I want to say sorry to my family for the consequences we may face in the future. I'm sorry for this, but it had to be done. I don't know if I'm first or last, but I had to do something. If you're a Border Patrol agent and you know this is wrong, you've seen this, please stand up. Please stand up. I want to thank you. I want to thank Elon. I want to thank Patrick Bet-David. I want to thank Andrew Tate, Justin Wallet, Tristan Tate. There's many men right now on the internet that are calling other men of ordinary lives to action. You told me that greatness might be thrust upon me. I don't perceive myself as great. I perceive myself as a working man, but...
Well, I mean, that's what greatness is. It's some men are born great, some men achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. And it's the ordinary man. Here, you're listening to a Border Patrol agent bravely risking his livelihood and himself. While it's unlikely, I believe, that he will be compromised because he is an anonymous source, and through the technology, brand new technology, we're able to hear directly from him. We also talk another one of, just because I know this is incredibly difficult. I mean, can you imagine the psychological difficulty of doing what this individual is doing? Can you imagine? I can't even get into more about their life, but can you imagine? This is another one that we read together, and I'll read it aloud because I think it's something that Laura Logan and I say this to each other. This is something that every Border Patrol agent should hear. If you are listening, and I know that you are, you need to listen to this. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. And I know that's one of the things that we read together, and I know that this is incredibly difficult. Is there anything you want to say about that challenge and overcoming it, which you are currently doing?
I just want to repeat, they can take our country so far, they can take our school systems, they can take our healthcare systems, they can throw every man in jail, they can't take God from you. If I didn't have God, I wouldn't have the courage to speak. I don't know where I would be. I don't know if this is my calling, or if this is just something I decided to do, but I follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. I'm not perfect, I'm a massive sinner, but it takes ordinary men and women who are sick and tired of seeing this to stand up. If not now, when? If not now, when?
We have one or two more minutes with you, because I know that we have to go. I have Tara, who actually is a whistleblower. She did something kind of similar. She was not with the Border Patrol, but she blew the whistle on sex trafficking. Tara, if you could just, and this is remarkable, we have a person who's currently inside the Border Patrol on with us. Tara, you've done this, and you've done it on sex trafficking, and you blew the whistle on your agents. You testified before Congress. Would you mind asking them a question or two, or a comment, if you would?
Sure, yeah. Thanks so much, James and Mario and everybody for doing this space. And thank you so much to this brave whistleblower for coming forward. And one of the people in the space, Alpha, asked me to ask a question that I think is very pertinent. After you seek whistleblower protection and reach out to your Office of Inspector General, I would highly recommend that you do that so that you can get some protection. But what would happen if the Border Patrol actually went on strike? I'm not suggesting that anybody do that. I'm asking, would that mean that the states would have to stand up to support the border, which potentially could bring more visibility to the situation?
That's a question. Let's go to the Border Patrol whistleblower. Your reaction to Tara's question. What do you think about her question?
I think it's in our DNA to protect our homeland. I'm personally not going to allow these people, so I'm not going to put down my gun and my rifle to allow anyone that wants to come through with drugs or guns to come through. What I think is a good idea is to not drive the bus. Not let them get in your van and say, I'm not taking these people north. If you want me to take them south, I'll drive them south. But why am I driving them north, east, and west? Let's return them. Let's say no and stop bringing these people further into the interior. I don't think we should go on strike. I think we should show up to what's been asked of us. Because there's nowhere in the academy they tell you to bring people into the country and drop them off so they can steal, they can kill innocent civilians. I think you should show up and say, no, I'm not doing it. And it's not just one person. We all have to do it and say, we are done with this. We're never going to do this again. I'm not bringing one more person deeper into my country. And protect the line. They always say, hold the line. The line, there is no more line. Why don't we get to removing the aliens and hold the line?
Okay.
Tara, your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, that was not anything I was suggesting at all. I just wondered what might happen because I think we do need to figure out ways to put eyes on this situation. So I like what he said about the other people who are moving the people and moving the children, right? At some point, somebody has to stand up and say no. So I really want to thank James. For those of you who know, in 2021, Aaron Stevenson is on here. He began blowing the whistle. And then in mid-2021, I was blowing the whistle. James did a very in-depth study of addresses that we gave him and found that children were saying, I'm being pimped out by my sponsor. You know, HHS has lost over 85,000 children in a 2-year period. Gone. They haven't even reported FY23, how many children are missing. So who is benefiting here? It's clearly not the children, right?
I would say,
we need to think about this.
Going back to the individual, I also have Aaron in the queue, to the Border Patrol agent here on, is it a money grab? Is it, again, it seems to me, looking at these NGOs, Red Cross, International Rescue, now we have Alitas. I've never heard of these things. These are hundreds of millions of dollars. Is it all a money grab?
James, you need to look into who owns the companies in these tent cities, the cleaning companies, the contractors. They have men and women that are contractors to keep an eye. For every one agent, there's 10 contractors. We know they're only getting paid maybe 15 to 25 an hour. Who knows what the government's actually paying the company to staff them, though? If you did the research and looked into who owns these companies, they're shell companies, I'm assuming, and there's probably, I hate to say it, but we know it's true, there's probably politicians behind it or pumping stocks into them. The same companies that are in California are in the 10 cities in Texas. It's the same companies that I think they're called Allied Services, maybe. And the food, who's preparing the food. This is a massive money grab. Money, once again, we learn in the Bible is the root of all evil. If you trace the money, eventually you'll get to the top of the evilness. I'm not saying if you have money there's evil, but who's making money off this? We know it's not the contractors that are passing out burritos and watching the tents.
We know that the U.S. government has given at least $415 million to just one of these NGOs. That's International Rescue in Phoenix. 415, including Tara from HHS. Aaron Stevenson was a whistleblower, is a whistleblower that I interviewed 2 years ago, calling out Department of Homeland Security. Aaron, you have an individual who's live on the radio here with his voice disguised. Aaron, do you have any reaction to what he said here, and any thoughts or questions?
I didn't capture all of it, obviously. I just kind of joined in, but highly recommend you follow through with the whistleblower protection stuff. To my understanding, it's pretty quick and easy. And your agency's supposed to have it. Basically, broadcast very easy. Now, I'm sure you know, because I was a DJs for like 10 years. Any of the training that goes on, like, really sucks, right? You can just click your way through. Everyone does anyways. But they never actually describe the process of how to do the whistleblower protection. So make sure you go through it. And I think your ethics attorneys can kind of like hold your hand through it as well, if you need to.
Maybe James could point me in the right direction as far as that is concerned. This is the first time I'm hearing of that. So maybe somebody can help me out at the spaces.
We will. We will help you, sir. We will help you. 100%. We will help you. Aaron, any other just sort of reactions to the, I don't know if, Aaron, you've had interactions with Border Patrol agents, but it seems to me this could be after the IBM story, we saw 120 insiders. Is something changing in the cultural zeitgeist of this country now? Are we going to have Border Patrol agents come forward? Aaron, what are your thoughts on that?
More than likely, no. This is a rare breed. Most people are going to support the system not because they're loyal to it, because they're headed up, they're levied up. It's not easy to walk away from your job.
And take the financial challenges, which you yourself have faced immensely. Well, I hope that's not true. Going back to the courage here and the example this sets, I predict that we will have at least one or two Border Patrol agents come forward. Let's see. Let's go to, I think we have another people on the deck. Do we have, we're going to go to my team here. Jordan Conradson, are you there? Jordan?
Yes, hello, James. Sorry about that.
You got sirens in the background. Hopefully the cops aren't coming for you like they're coming for me. All I hear is sirens every day.
Just an ambulance. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I mean, first of all, I guess since we still have whenever the Border Patrol insider needs to drop off, he can. But do you have any questions or thoughts on what he has said and kind of this? It just tugs at your heart what he said here over the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was listening to it the last 45 minutes. It really shook me to the core, just to imagine, it's one thing to see it. It's one thing to see it on the news, see it in person, but it's another thing to be not just asked, but forced by your employer, forced by the totally incompetent and corrupt DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Joe Biden to disavow your beliefs, disavow your training, becoming a Border Patrol agent, and do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Essentially help these people break the law, enter our country, destroy our country, and also just to witness the things that these people have to witness. Because, we see on the news, we see videos of thousands, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants coming to the border, lining up at the border wall. But we don't see the micro part of that, the smaller part of it with the little children, the women, the evil men, quite frankly, just doing terrible things to them. So the fact that, and I believe that whistleblower, Gila Monster, he told us that ever since the regime change, and that's really what it was. It was a regime change, obviously, with the 2020 election, with COVID, everything. They've been trafficking humans. That's just disgusting to have to think about. And being a godly man like this Border Patrol agent is, it's got to weigh on your conscience, and it's got to be hard. A lot of people ask me, go ahead.
Jordan, real quick, because we got to get to Carlos. 30 seconds or less on, you went through some type of bus chase yourself, as portrayed in the video. You may have not gotten it on video. Just say a comment about that.
Very similar to yours. You know, they were doing the same kind of dangerous maneuvers, driving through traffic, stopping, slowing down, speeding up super fast, zigzagging across the road, blocking traffic. And, you know, it's really interesting to me that these people who work for the counties, in your video, it was a Santa Cruz County employee, they're actually there protecting the illegal immigrants.
What is that, Jordan? Why is the county and the state? What is that about? Is that funding coming from the county? I mean, we'll find out, but.
Yeah, so a lot of the funding is coming from the county. I'll put this in the chat here in a second, but I mean, Maricopa County themselves, last year they gave at least $5 million to these humanitarian organizations. So it's not just the federal government who's giving money to these organizations, it's individual counties. We have 9 counties in Arizona, so $5 million from Maricopa, our largest county. You know, you extrapolate that, do the math, 60% of the population, you know, they're getting close to $9 or $10 million from the counties, I would assume. Of course, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
We'll get them.
But
we'll get them.
Yes.
So thank you, Jordan. Let's go to Carlos. Carlos Arellano is a citizen journalist in Texas near Brownsville. I was actually introduced to Carlos from Terra, and he has been reporting on the situation down at the border for years. Carlos, don't give too much away, because O'Keefe Media is talking to a lot of the sources that you know. So don't give away the story that we might find. But can you just first react to this? And if the Border Patrol Insider is still here, maybe even ask, thank you, maybe, Carlos, maybe even ask them a question or respond to what they've said here on the program.
Well, my main question that I would have for him is, first of all, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. And my question for you is, when I'm traveling around the airports, I come across a lot of people who are here illegally who miss their flights because they don't speak English and they don't know how to maneuver around a giant airport like Dallas for their connection, or Houston, George Bush. And many of them have told me that they've been at the airport for 2 days, 3 days. Some have even said that the airline does not want to rebook them a second time or a third time. And what's the process when it comes to that? Have you guys gotten any phone calls, or what have you guys heard on your end when it comes to that? And also, I used to be a transportation specialist. I used to move children around the country, and during my time doing that for the federal government, I moved around maybe close to 10,000 children, give or take a few hundred. And what's the youngest you have ever handed over a child at the border to an NGO or to the Office of Refugee Resettlement? What's the youngest you've ever have found at the border?
When it comes to the age of young children, maybe 2 to 6 months would be the youngest. I would try not to ask the number of months because it was so sickening to even think about. But those people that get left in the airports, they're there to fend for themselves. They're there to, ask the locals, state, Social Security benefit offices for money. Once we sign a paper that we have that releases them from custody, we no longer deal with them. We give them a file number, and that's it. They can't come back. We don't care. It's on to the next. They're already in the interior. The only goal for the organization is to go get more people at the border that are waiting in these camps. Not the camps that we're bringing them to, the camps on the border, grab them, fill them up the bus, and go. That's all they're concerned about. There's a number of people. The more people you can get in, the better. They don't care once we release them. They're stuck at the airport. They're off the fence for themselves. And that's it.
Carlos, you're near Brownsville, one of the busiest border areas, border crossings. You've seen a lot, and you know Terra. I mean, Carlos, what's the most alarming thing that you've seen in your reporting down there?
Well, the most alarming thing I've seen is that the NGOs have quotas, and they're more worried about losing the contract than doing the job the right way. So when it comes to hiring people, they will hire and put people on the job first before even having the background come back. So when I see your video of the bus driver almost crashing into you, My thinking is it's probably a young 20-year-old whose background didn't fully come through. And I know all of this because I used to move children, migrant children, for the federal government, and you would think that I would have a social worker degree or some kind of background involving children. All I have is a GED. So I didn't go to school to do any of this, and all I had was a GED, and they gave me access to children for years regarding this type of work.
What did you, just so that people know your background, what was your position in the government, or what was your job?
So they call it transportation specialist, migrant escort, travel youth care worker. So there's thousands of children. For example, right now in the state of Texas alone, there's 12,000 children who showed up at the border without a father, without a mother, any kind of relative. And a lot of the times what that means too is the person they showed up was separated from the child because they were probably raping them or beating them, multiple issues. So they are given into a program called ORR, which I know you're very, you know about it, but my job was to pick these children up from Texas and take them across the United States. So flights that would arrive at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, from El Paso, Texas, all the way to Westchester, New York. I've been to Vermont. I've been to every state. I've been to Vermont to drop off children, Maine, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Wyoming, all the northern states. And the sketchiest, the most concerning part about all this is that some of the children used to tell me that they arrived in the United States a year ago, 2 years ago, 7 months ago, and they arrived with their sister, their brother, but they were separated in a shelter in Chicago. And it's very concerning because how do you arrive to Texas, go to Chicago with your sister to a shelter, come back to Texas, and then you're being sent back out to the East Coast again? So the reason why that is because these shelters get money for each head under their care. They get money to feed them. They get money for putting a roof over their head. They get money to feed them. Everything is taxed by these NGOs to the charging the federal government. So
hey, Carlos, let me ask you this, and we still have the Border Patrol Insider. We got 8,000 people listening. It's 5:15 on the East Coast. We got another 20 minutes left here. One of the things that they're attacking us with here. It's interesting that MSNBC and Raw Story and the Arizona, is it called the Republic? It's going to become a woke clickbait mag. It's no longer doing any journal. It almost reminds me, Carlos, of a CIA Mockingbird operation. Bring in the Pulitzer Prize winner and cover this whole thing up. I mean, it's one of the talking points they're now taking against us is that we are increasing threats against these places by reporting on them. I mean, these are left-wing reporters, David McAfee at Raw Story, some guy named Jahan Jones at MSNBC. What's your reaction to that, Carlos, that where somehow people are making threats against these places because I'm publishing them?
Well, what it is, you're causing them to more than likely lose a contract because these contracts that the NGOs receive, they're up for renewal sometimes every 6 weeks, sometimes every 4 weeks, sometimes every 3 months. So they're constantly having to be renewed. And if there's a video circulating out there with an address or someone with a platform like yours, they're more than likely going to lose the contract. There's people who've been fired because of me. There's contracts that have been lost in New York City. I was also the manager for the largest migrant hotel in New York City, and I made them lose the contract when I spoke out against them. So what you're doing, James, is you probably cost them millions by showing up to Arizona.
So it's all about the money. It's all about money. Isn't that interesting? I think you're probably right. Border Patrol Insider, do you agree with that?
It's a huge cash grab, and I think it's to bring down the economy, and so there's no safety, and then the government, Big Brother, can come in and provide more safety, therefore taking more rights from the American people and the public.
We have to get to the next. We have We the People, this Arizona government watchdog group. Are you on? If you can, just unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I have a touch of laryngitis, so I apologize.
You and me both. I have something like that too, but our raspy voices are going to keep going. So you're a subject matter expert. You're in, is it Phoenix?
Yes, we're based out of Phoenix, Arizona.
And I guess we still have the Border Patrol Insider. We got another 10, 15 minutes. Any reaction to that aspect? You know, other Border Patrol, he said 99% of Border Patrol agents agree with him, but they got the mortgage, they got the GS-10 or whatever number it is, GS-11 salaries, hundreds of thousands. 12, GS-12, so that's whatever that is, 130 grand or 110 grand a year, and the mortgage and all of it. I mean, I guess that's more of kind of a philosophical question, but it just seems to me like they're in Arizona. You need people to step up. So what's your reaction to that?
Well, actually, it brought a tear to my eye because we've been doing this. We've been going down to the border. We were following the buses back in 2021, and we were watching what they were doing with these kids. And we put in a bunch of public records requests, and we talked to Border Patrol agents. And I just remember our team sitting here, Brian Blim and Jordan Conradson was part of that, and my partner, Steve Robinson. And we were just perplexed at how the Border Patrol agents could see even just what we're seeing and not be so devastated to speak up. And to have this Border Patrol agent speak up the way he is, it really brings hope, and it really inspires me. I mean, the things we were seeing, we were following these buses, and just like your other guest on the show was saying, we ended up having to rent cars to be able to chase these buses from the Tucson encampment into the valley because they were crossing 4 lanes of traffic doing 90 miles an hour, and they were dipping in and out of exits because they knew we were following them. So we set up teams and had a communication. We had radios. And followed them into these encampments. And then when we would get to these housings out here in the valley, they would know we were following them. They would have us follow them through residential neighborhoods for sometimes up to 2 hours while they posted security people at the gate before the bus would pull in.
So you're telling me that these buses would evade you for hours? This is buses filled with these migrants and asylum seekers?
Yes, so there was one bus in particular in Mesa that we followed through the neighborhood for 2 hours, and we couldn't figure out initially what he was doing. And then we realized it was so that they could have time to bring in law enforcement and security guards. So when we finally arrived at the location, the bus went into the facility and angled itself to block the view of the road, almost in a dangerous way of parking. And Brian Blim got up on the back side of an apartment complex to videotape who was getting off the bus. And it was almost predominantly all young girls between the ages of 8 and 17. And there was not one woman on the bus with these girls. It was 2 middle-aged men loading these girls off these buses.
Wow. Well, I mean, and did you get some of those high-speed chases on tape, or did you film it at all?
Oh, no, we do. We have lots of video footage. We actually put a lot of this out in 21, but I just guess people weren't ready for it. And YouTube and even Time would pull our videos down and censor it. But we have a lot of footage. We started investigating these facilities. One of the primary facilities that deal with the migrant children here in the valley is Southwest Keys. And Southwest Keys used to be a behavioral health facility for youth. And they got shut down because of bed bugs and fecal matter and sexual abuse. The Arizona Department of Health actually shut the facility down. And then the federal government came back and gave them millions of dollars in grants to house these migrant children who have also reported sexual abuse. And and various abuse there in the facilities, but they're still operating all over Maricopa County.
So you're hearing everyone from people who've been doing this citizen journalism. I think it's better to have people on this weekly program at O'Keefe Media that are actually doing the work as opposed to simply commenting on the work. That's not journalism. That's punditry. But you've heard from whistleblowers. You've heard from Tara, HHS, Aaron, DHS. You've heard just now from We the People. They were doing the same thing that I was doing 3 years ago. People weren't ready for it. You're hearing from a Border Patrol person currently working as a Border Patrol agent on the inside, bravely using a brand new feature. We have different predictions here. Some people saying, oh, well, this is going to lead to other people. Some people saying, no, it's too much. And what we're learning, everyone, is the latest reporting here from the state of Arizona is that they want the money. This is a money grab. These people are widgets. They're being used to get the money into the pockets of the nonprofit organizations that get hundreds of millions of dollars from the federal government. Pretty remarkable. I'm asking my team if we have another about 5 or 10 minutes.
James, can I make one last statement?
Yes, I mean, I want to thank you for being brave and speaking up despite the risks to you and your family. Your bravery is profoundly inspirational. We were all tearing up. Say a few last words.
I've done nothing special. I'm no one special. I'm no one great. I'm not brave. I have God on my side. With God, anything's possible. I just want to make one last call to action. If you consider yourself a man and not a coward, step forward, please. I understand the bills of the family and the local stress and looking over your shoulder to see if you're going to be punished. Step up, do the right thing. With God on my side, I'm not afraid. I'll leave tomorrow. I'm sick of this organization. I'm sick of these children. Who am I to say that this is so wrong and to continue to receive a check and hide in the shadows? I'm asking anyone, you, James, Elon Musk, Vivek, anyone, any of these big content creators, I'm able-bodied and willing to work. I'll step away tomorrow. I'll work. I'll stay on the inside. I don't know. There's no playbook for this. There's no guidance. My guidance and my manual is the Bible. But I'm just asking anyone to just step up, and it's a call to action now. If you think about it, you'll hesitate, and you'll get fat and hungry off the check. Step up and do the right thing. You know in the bottom of your heart what's right, and you know what's false. Unless you want to continue aiding these little girls to get raped, and these children be sold, and all these men that are one day going to fight against our country, we're not going to have a school system. Yeah, right now it's in the big cities. What happens when it comes to your suburbs? What happens when they don't need us anymore? It's called useful idiots. I've done research. Right now, we're the biggest useful idiots on the planet. We might say the national anthem. We might say we have a belief under God. No, right now we're doing the work of the devil. Unfortunately, 2024 is the year of the light and the truth. Right now, I feel like the Holy Spirit is speaking from me. Please come forward. You know what's right. You know where your compass lies.
That was, I mean, I think that you're kicking off something that's going to, my prediction is that this is what 24 is going to yield, people like this. Stay with us one more moment. Tara, your hand is raised, and Tara, I'm calling on you because you've done this. Tara, what do you have to say? Tara, can you hear me? Hey, Tara, your hand is raised. Border Patrol Insider, stay with us for one more minute. Tara, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted again to thank your Border Patrol agent, and I do hope that his bravery will call other Border Patrol agents and people within DHS to come forward. I want people to know that one voice makes a difference. And Border Patrol agent, your voice makes a difference. We're going to help get you some whistleblower protection. And again, I thank you for your bravery. This is critical right now. People must be able to speak the truth, right? We know that people are being trafficked. Children are being sold for sex. We know this is happening. The agencies are reporting astronomical numbers of people and children missing. So I thank you for your courage and your bravery. Again, thank you, Mario, James, and all the other whistleblowers, Carlos and Aaron and everybody on here, just for standing up for what's right.
And I want to say one more thing to the people that are listening, not the brave people or the people the Border Patrol agent mentioned who agree with him, but sort of struggle because they have mortgage bills, etc. That's something they're going to have to wrestle with, I think, with increasing urgency as we head into the future of an unknown country. Well, let me just say this: not to the good people who are confused, but to the evil people who seek to destroy, the wicked people that seek to try to find out who's the person on this show. We need to find them, right? That's the fear, obviously. Let me speak directly to you people for a moment, and let me just tell you how this is going to go. 1 will become 2, 2 will become 4, 4 will become 8, and the same experiences that you want to torture these people, that those suddenly there's going to be 100 people like the individual on the show. And those individuals actually believe in something greater than the material world. So those 100 whistleblowers are going to start unifying the way that Tara mentioned. And then we're going to cross the Rubicon where you won't be able to stop the momentum. You have to play whack-a-mole and start firing hundreds of people. That's not going to work out well for you. There's going to be tremendous power in numbers. And the reaction from you, that is your battering rams, your secret subpoenas, that's going to not work out so well for you, and that's going to become essential for the success of our campaign. And the reaction to the reaction is going to feed the story. And the balance of political forces will now change. The balance of political forces has changed. The role of the oppressor is now reversed. David will assume new strength while Goliath is attacked on all sides, and the hunter will become the hunted. And it's all because of this Border Patrol agent. Stay tuned, everyone. Stay tuned. And one last word from the Border Patrol. Go ahead.
Ultimately, there's one Lord, there's one God. Thank you for the ending monologue. I don't want to mess it up. I just want to say many of these men that are proud agents, we were inspired by Donald Trump. He was attacked. We believe in our hearts that he had our best intentions. He was one that cared about us and would show up and talk to us and made us feel as if we were real people and not just an agent of the government to commit evil. Mr. Trump, if you can hear this, I love you. Thank you. And you're always welcome in my home. Same with you, James, and all these people that have spoken today. Thank you. My mother will cook for you. You can always sit at our table. And no matter what they do to me, I'm proud of what we did today. Thank you.
We're proud of you, brother. We got your back. We're going to tell your story, and you're going to inspire a lot more people. They're going to have to go through me to get to you, and they're going to have to go through everyone here to get to me. So we're all in this together. It's 5:30 on the East Coast. I'll be speaking to you offline, brother. Until next week at 4 Eastern, this is On the Inside with James O'Keefe, Part 2, Migrant Bus Chase, Border Patrol Agent Speaks Out. We're creating a movement, and it's just the second week of January. Stay tuned.
Can I say one thing? Everything is fine in the beautiful golden path unfolding. Anger in response to my emotion. All the trauma left unopened. Throw it all away and fly inside it high. Good times I'm reeling from the raindrops on the ceiling. From your heart this is revealing. You wanna get away, you're bored into my feeling. Afraid of, isn't that what life is made?